Two. Yeah. Okay.
Goodness me.
Where's the Bobby?
Yeah, there is.
We
Any
exercise.
echo? No echo. That's
No
good.
echo.
Okay. Thank you, Jayanti. That's very good. Oh, yeah, we got rid of the ghosts. That's good.
Exercised it.
Yeah, so a lot of people worship demigods to fulfill their material desires. But what the scriptures say is that it's no problem if you're a devotee of Krishna and you still have material desires, but worship Krishna, to fulfill those desires. Now, Krishna is very intelligent. If someone comes to him with a material desire, he will think very carefully that, is this going to be good for the future of my devotee, in which case I'll give it to him. But if what he's asking for is bad for him, I won't give it. So if you were ask Krishna for some material thing, and if he doesn't give it, don't worry about that. You should think, what I wanted must have been not a good desire, and that's why Krishna hasn't given it. Okay? Like for example, if you worship Krishna and you say, Krishna, please give me a husband or a wife or whatever, or $1 million, and if he doesn't give you a husband or a wife or $1 million, you should think, well, that can't have been good for my spiritual life, and therefore he hasn't given it. And just accept that. Be peaceful with that. Accept that. And if he does give it, well, those things must have been okay, and Krishna's saying that it's not necessarily bad for me, and I can use those things in Krishna's service, and like that. But however, with the demigods, it's different. You approach the demigods for a husband or a wife for $1 million, they'll just automatically give it. They don't consider, is this good for you? Is this bad for you? They just automatically give it, and it'll stuff your life up, and and that's it. You're ruined. So that they're not so intelligent in that way. Why they automatically give it is because, so you've got a lineup of millions and millions of people asking Lord Shiva and so forth, can you give me money and women and business and everything like that? And what does Lord Shiva want to do with his life? Does he want to be like your order supplier? Okay, Gulshan, here, have this. Hey, Deepak, have this. Hey, Bob, have this. What does he want to do? Is that what he wants to do? Business transactions for his whole life?
No.
What has Lord Shiva got in his hand?
Trident.
A trident in one, and what has he got in his other hand?
The beads and what you call the playing thing. Yeah. He's
got japa beads like us, but made out of a different seed called Rudraksha. Rudraksha. And I got one hanging around my neck. I got it in India. I'll show you.
Oh, okay.
Here it is.
Oh yeah.
That's one. That big one there. That one.
Is that the pure one?
Yeah, it's Rudraksha from Nepal.
Nepal. Oh, very nice.
It's supposed to help my digestion. So,
okay.
Hopefully my appendix won't blow up again. That'll help my devotional service.
So whoever is praying that Hanuman, so it'll be directly prayer to Lord Rama, isn't it? Or you can't, those who pray the Hanuman, it means they are praying to Lord Rama.
Not necessarily. I mean, someone might be just a devotee of Hanuman, not be a devotee of Rama.
But that would be like a devotee of the devotee. Hanuman called himself a devotee of Lord Rama. Sevak.
Yeah, but their attitude towards Hanuman might not be the proper attitude. That's the problem.
Oh, yes, definitely, yeah.
So, like I said, Shiva doesn't want to spend his whole life, fulfilling your material desires. He wants to chant Ram, 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 Ram. He says there's so much nectar in the syllables Rama. So much nectar. He said just chanting one name of Ram is equal to 1,000 names of Vishnu.
Mm.
And what we know further on that topic is that the same potency in chanting 3 names of Ram you can get from one name of Krishna. But we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It's got everything in it, right? Hare
Yeah.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it's all there, all the potency is there in these names of Krishna and Rama. So yeah, he wants to glorify the Lord. He doesn't want to be just doing business transactions. So okay, take it and go, take it and go, take it and go. Have what you want and go. So they'll just dish it out to the demigod worshippers. They'll just give out whatever, even though it's not good for them. They're not real devotees. Most of them are not real devotees. They just want to get something from them. Like I said, when you go to a temple, you should want to give something to Krishna, not take something from Krishna. So that's not a real devotee. You're worshiping them, but you're not really wanting to please them. Well, you do want to please them, but you only want to please them so that when they're pleased with you, they're going to give you something. So it's like a business transaction, but that's not real devotion. So like I said, Krishna recommends that if you have a material desire, better to directly just ask Krishna. No need to go to the demigod. However, sometimes we see that pure devotees do go to a demigod. Even it's mentioned one time, Nanda Maharaj just had a desire to go to see a temple of Lord Shiva. On Shivaratri. So the special day for Lord Shiva is called Shivaratri, once a year, like we have Krishna Janmashtami. So there's like a special day for Lord Shiva called Shivaratri, means the night of Lord Shiva. So he had a desire. So he left Vrindavan with the cowherd boys and they went to this place of Lord Shiva. But it just mentioned that he just had a feeling just to go there and offer respect to Lord Shiva. He didn't go there every year. He just decided to one year to go there. So if it's no harm if a devotee wants to offer respect to one of the demigods who are all Krishna's devotees, to do that. But it's not that we have to do it for any particular reason. Everything we need we can get just by our service to Krishna. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's read.
Maybe just one. Sorry, just getting technical. No. Like when the demigods just fulfill, people's prayers or, that whatever they ask for.
Yeah.
Just a thought just come to me, like at the end of it, Krishna is all controlling, that whether the prayers are answered by the demigods, doesn't he have overriding control on whether they get it or not? Or
yeah, that's a very good point that you bring that up. That's actually going to be covered in one of the verses coming up. Krishna actually says that. So what Deepa's point is that, okay, a person approaches a demigod for a material thing, okay, but that demigod can only give that material thing to the person if Krishna sanctions it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a fact. And Krishna's actually going to say that, that it has to be given by Krishna ultimately anyway. So why don't you just directly ask me for it? You know what I'm saying? If ultimately he has to give the permission, and why do it through the demigod? Why not directly go to Krishna and say, hey, can I have this? Give this to me. So that's the point that Krishna makes. And so that's true. So that's more intelligent. Why go through a middleman? Why not directly go to the source? Why try to bribe the minister? Just go to the prime minister. You know what I'm saying?
Well, then you said that there's no direct way to go to Krishna. You have to go through his devotees.
No, you can directly pray to Krishna.
Pray to Krishna, but okay.
But the idea to pray to Krishna comes from the devotees.
Yeah, because
you've had association with the devotees, you've learnt about who is God and he's Krishna, and if you need anything, ask him, and how to ask him, what prayers, so you get educated by the devotees. But once you're educated by the devotees, you can directly ask him.
So once you're educated, then you
you should be humble, and you think that it's like Prabhupada taught the devotees, when you're offering food to Krishna, you should think that I'm not qualified to offer this food to you. You know, I am rotten. Prabhupada used the word.
I'm rascal.
He said, you know, well, rascal's a good one, but he said I'm rotten, and the way he said it, because I've heard him say it on the audio, he's really feeling like he's rotten. He said, I am, you know, he said, Krishna, please take, you know, I am not qualified to offer this to you. I'm rotten. You know, I'm just trying to assist my spiritual master. You know, so that's the best way, that you're feeling that you're just assisting your spiritual master. You know, your spiritual master is telling you to offer your food before you eat it, offer it to Krishna. So under his order, under his instruction, you're cooking something and you're offering it to Krishna because he's guiding you, instructing you to do it. So actually your spiritual master is offering it to Krishna, but you're just assisting him like that. So that's nice to see it like that, you know, I'm not qualified to do directly. So, you know, like the devotees, you know, explaining to us how to pray to Krishna. But once they explain it to us, then you can pray. You know, like if you're in great danger, you can't wait. I just got to send an email to my spiritual master to tell Krishna to please save me from falling off this cliff. No, you just directly pray to Krishna. Krishna, save me! I'm falling off a cliff. You know, so you don't have to go through anyone like that. You just, you know, and like we've heard in the last verse, that Krishna's everywhere. He's everything. You know, so Krishna's right there on the cliff that you're falling off. You know, because I'm not exaggerating, because like Prahlad was thrown off a cliff by Hiranyakashipu's henchman. He was thrown off, and Krishna manifested in the form of cotton wool at the bottom of the hill, you know, and he had a very soft landing like that. So Krishna saved him, you know, in all the different situations he went through, you know. So we can, you know, directly connect with Krishna. Although very humbly, we think we're not qualified to, and you know, like that, we try to, you know, we're the servant of the spiritual master and everything like that. But still, we can directly have a relationship with Krishna. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but Prahlad Maharaj has got a top surrender, which we
top surrender. But also, he's a living entity like us. He's not God.
Yeah.
So if he used his free choice to completely surrender, why can't we?
Yes.
So we shouldn't become like the Christians. Oh, Jesus, he's like God and he's pure, but we're like sinful. We always have to be sinful. We can't be anything else other than sinful, you know, like that. No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to make that, oh, Prabhupada, he is up there. I can never become like Prabhupada. No, we should think that, you know, he's a pure devotee, and he's showing me how to become a pure devotee. So there's only one person that is stopping us from becoming a pure devotee. Do you know who that is?
Yourself.
Ourselves. You know, so we shouldn't put these personalities like that on a pedestal, and it means that we can never achieve what they achieved. No, we can. We can. Actually, it's mentioned about Prahlad's previous life in some of the different Puranas. It mentions about his previous life. He wasn't looking like a really great personality. He was looking like a pretty ordinary personality. He actually had a really bad time. I can't remember his name in his previous life. He had a really bad time. And he was I can't remember all the details, but he was running away from something or someone, and he had some traumatic experience, and he ran into some old like derelict building. It looked like an old derelict kind of building. It was actually an abandoned Nrsingadev temple. It was actually an abandoned Nrsingadev temple. He didn't know that though, without any knowledge. And because of the situation, he couldn't get any food that day. The whole day and night, couldn't get any food. So he fasted. And he was so disturbed, he couldn't sleep. So he stayed up the whole night. So he fasted the whole day and night. He didn't sleep the whole day and night. And in a Singadev temple, And it was on Nrsingadev's birthday, Nrsinga Chaturdashi.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he happened to go in there on Nrsinga Chaturdashi. And what was the result of doing all that? Unknowingly. And he was an ordinary person.
Become a devotee.
He became born as Prahlad Maharaj. You know, so he's an ordinary person. You know, so we can all become pure devotees. It's just a matter of doing all that good stuff. You know, it's just a matter of going to the temples and, you know, celebrating those special days and do some austerities, whether it's fasting or more chanting like that, sleeping less, you know, whatever like that, you know, different things we can do to become purified, and we can also become a pure devotee. So, yeah, we should all have that ambition to become a pure devotee. And that's why Prabhupada put the effort in. He didn't put all that effort in so we'd all remain stupid, foolish, ignorant rascals life after life. Prabhupada had the hope that Gulshan's going to become a pure devotee, go back to Godhead. That Bob's going to become a pure devotee, go back to Godhead. And Deepa's going to become a pure devotee and go back to Godhead. And if I help all of you in some little way to go back to Godhead, maybe Krishna will take me back to Godhead, and like that. So that's what Prabhupada's, you know, hope was, and he had confidence in that we can become pure devotees like that. So yeah, we don't want to deviate the philosophy like the Christians have, that make Jesus God. No, Jesus is a person like us, you know, like that, and he can choose to surrender or he can choose not to. But
he was son of God.
Yeah, but many of the Christians twist that.
But we got a father, so, and that father remains always there. So Krishna is the father. He's the bija, like, you know, father is there.
Yeah. No, the original Christian philosophy was correct, but then they've interpreted over time and different things. And but another thing in this verse that's very important to understand is that what's wrong with having material desires? Well, as it's mentioned here, the intelligence has been stolen by material desires.
Yeah.
That's really bad news, because like I said, the worst thing is ignorance and the best thing is knowledge. But material desires steal your knowledge, steal your discrimination, steal your intelligence. Let's quickly look at the third chapter, text 37. Third chapter, text 37, is talking about how lust, which means material desires, steals our knowledge.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "It is a lust only, Arjuna, which is born of a contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into what?
Wrath. Wrath means like anger.
Anger. And which is all daring, sinful enemy of this world." Okay.
Okay. And then Deepa, read 39.
39. Thus, the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire.
So here Krishna is saying our number one enemy is lust, which means material desires, right? Material sense gratification. And Prabhupada used the word sense gratification, which means material desires, which is lust, karma. And why is it so bad? Because it covers our intelligence, our knowledge. That what are we originally? We're a wise living entity. So how did the wise living entity become so dumb? Because of material desires. Because of this sense gratification, desires to satisfy the senses. So, and what is the result? So, the material desires, when we have material desires, our original knowledge gets covered over. What's covered over? That Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's covered over. You've forgotten that. That I'm a spirit soul. I'm an eternal soul. That gets covered over. And that you think that you're the body. So, and you've completely forgotten Krishna. You've completely forgotten who you are. You don't know who you are. You don't know who anyone else really is. All you see is the external bodies. You've forgotten your relationship with God. And what else does it do? That you try to fulfill your desires, of course, but what's the result? They're never
It's gotta be
satisfied.
it's got to be
Never,
another
ever
rise,
satisfied.
another one. Yeah.
You have a desire to get $100,000. It's just say you manage to get it. Yeah, often they won't get it, but just say you manage to get it. When you got $100,000, are you satisfied?
No.
You want
And then
more.
you want
to-
$200,000, and you have $200,000. Just say you managed to get it.
No.
Are you
Mhm.
satisfied? No. You want $500,000. You want $1 million. You want you. One time, a reporter asked the richest man in the world at that time, which was John Paul Getty, "What do you think about when you're all alone?" And what was his answer? "I think about how to make more money." Oh, for God's sake, man! You're the richest man in the world, and you think about how to make more money. So that's lust. The nature of lust or material desires is the more you have, the more you want, the more you have, the more you want, the more you have, the more you want. It's never satisfied. And like it's saying, it burns like fire. So what's the problem with that? Is that it creates that anxieties in the heart. It's 24/7 anxieties. What are some main diseases in modern day society? Stress,
Yeah.
anxiety,
Depression.
hypertension,
Yeah.
high blood pressure. What all this is because of that burning fire in the heart, mate.
Mm.
You got a burning fire in your heart. That's why so much stress, pressure, all your, blood vessels are popping out, and your heart is racing and everything. It's because of all these unsatisfied material desires. I got to get this. I got to have that. I got to fast, quick. Got to get that quick. Oh, I got to protect all my things. I've got so many assets. So I have to look after them and protect them. People are trying to take them. I got to protect them. So you're thinking about how to make more stuff, but even if you do get stuff, then you've got another anxiety of how I can defend it and protect it. Not only you're desiring to get the car, but even if you get the car, then you've got to think about, I got to stop someone from stealing it now. I got to stop someone from crashing into it now. And then, I got to give it insurance, and then I have to work to pay for the insurance, and and your heart explodes. So normally these days, it's either your heart explodes first or your brain explodes first. So why do we do that? It's because of lust. It's because of these material desires. The minimum thing you're going to achieve by controlling lust is you'll save your brain from blowing up and your heart from blowing up.
Abhi Prabhu, if I can sorry, I've just been trained as a fact-based challenger. Anyway, okay, money, finances, whatever, it's the order of how the world functions.
Yeah.
And if we think about, even the all Krishna's temples or ashrams and everything functions with money, the money, the donations, and to be able to do what it does, like even to feed, like prasadam and all that.
Yeah.
It's necessary. It's what we do with the money.
You've answered it yourself. Necessary. If you endeavor for what's necessary, what is necessary means some food to live is necessary.
Basic
a roof over your head is necessary. Some clothes is necessary. Some partner or whatever is necessary. Have a few kids is necessary. If you work just enough for those necessary things, that's not lust. Lust is when you keep endeavoring beyond the necessary, more and more and more. Once you've met your needs,
to give to the temple, give to donation. Then yeah.
Well, if you work more hard to make more money to give it to the temple, that's also not lust. That's love. You know what I mean? So whatever, if you're working hard to serve Krishna, that's not lust. But if you're working hard to please your own senses, which can never be satisfied, that's lust. But if you're working, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week to please Krishna's senses, that's not bad. That's not lust. That's not going to cover your intelligence. That's not going to be a burning fire. That's going to be your heart is expanding. Your heart is going to expand. Your love is going to increase. So that's completely different. But for yourself, for your own senses, you only work enough for what your body needs to survive today. Not to survive 10 years in future, but enough to survive now, like that, and endeavor. And generally, it was always like that. People worked 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. But what happened to that? Lust happened to that. Then it became, when I was a kid, then instead of 5 days, it became 5.5 days, half day Saturday. Then it became 6 days. Then it became 6.5. Then 7 days. And then it went from 8 to 5 till 7 till 6.
And future is gonna be 7.5 days.
Yeah, if there was more days, they would do more. You know? So and then instead of being happy with just a day job, then they get a night job as well. You know, then it was a night shift. We never heard about night shift when I was young. Night shift came later. You know, and like that. I mean, it's crazy. Like Gulshan, you know, you're working in the mall. They force you in the contract to work 7 days.
I was working 25 hours a day.
So, yeah, right.
And then 7 days a week. That's the contract. You know, you have to be open 7 days a week. So they're trying to kill you. And it nearly did, right, Gulshan? They nearly managed to kill you.
Funny you say that. Yesterday, one couple came and I was serving there in the Bhakti tree. And then couple, they say, I know you. I said, know me from where? And he said, I know you 10 years before. I know you from 10 years. I said, 10 years? How? He said, I used to come a coffee at cafes. Your cafe. You want that? Really? He said, yes. He had a cafe in Charleston Square. He said, yes. He said, I used to come there. And this. And then, I said, oh, okay.
How did he recognize you without your hair?
Because
and your
I didn't recognize many of them because I was serving, 300-400 customers a day. But customer recognized me. He's the owner. So all the girls there, I'm the only boy in there. So they knows that, okay, he's the one. Even the shaved head. But he said, nah, I recognize you. You had this. I said, oh, yeah. And then he was given the business opportunity. I said, no, mate. Thank you very much. I'm done.
But Krishna saved you from that one. There was
yes, every time.
Nearly finished off by uncontrolled lust.
That's right. So I just said to Jagannath, I bow down every time, Bhakti tree. Just two things, enough for me to survive and no woman.
Yeah. So that's not lust. If you just work what you need to maintain your body and your family.
Enough for me to survive,
I mean, if you can't maintain your basic bodily needs
how
within 40 hours a week, then basically you're a moron. There's no hope. If you can't sort out your basic needs in 40 hours, so why do we have to work 60 or 70 or 80? You don't need a 40 hours work
to survive. Even 20, 25 hours enough.
But then if you have uncontrolled lust, then 80 hours, 100 hours is not enough.
80 is not enough, yes.
8 is not enough.
Yeah.
So that's the real thing is that if you come to Krishna consciousness, then you're attracted to living a simple life because you want more time for your spiritual practice.
Yes.
You don't want to be working like an ass your whole life for someone else. You want to just work enough to survive and have more time to do like the soul searching sessions and chanting your rounds and offer some food, go to the temple, go to the festivals.
Distribute the books
or whatever, So you want to be very efficient with your working time so you can get as much done in as less time. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, right? He had 10 kids, so he had to work, right? But he was a court magistrate. He worked 6 hours a day, 5 days a week.
That's enough.
And that 6 hours, he did as much work as the other court magistrates were doing in 12 hours. So that means he was twice as efficient with his time because he didn't want to waste his time working when he wanted, because he wrote like Prabhupada, like over 100 books, and he established Namahata organizations, and he was
the Bhaktivinoda Thakur that his tulsi plant may be the different, but the pot is still there. You've been there to cross the Ganges. And the
yes.
The pot is that exactly his pot. Okay. The tulsi plant in their plant will be different there, but pot is still there. I've seen that.
Yeah. So that's the fine line, Deepa. We've got between, like we say, right? Are you living to work or working to live? It should be you work to live. Don't live to work. Living to work means lust. Working to live. That's your duty that you have to do. Like Krishna told Arjuna, right? That you have to fight, Arjuna. It's your duty. How are you going to maintain your body if you don't work?
Yeah.
So everyone knows that. Even Krishna knows that. He created the system. You have to work, but you've just got to balance it. Even like an Ayurveda, right? 24 hours, split it up into 3. 8 hours for your body, 8 hours for your mind, 8 hours for your soul. 8 hours for your body, what's that? That's your sleeping and eating.
And shower.
Sleeping and eating. That's and then 8 hours for your mind. Ayurveda puts your work in that, because you feel, I'm useful, I've contributed something. You know, you feel satisfied that I've maintained my family, I've provided for my family. Mentally, you feel satisfied and happy that I'm not useless. I'm usefully contributing to society and everything like that. So that's good for the mind. And then 8 hours for your soul. You know, that's all your, hearing and chanting and remembering 9 processes of bhakti yoga, spend time with the devotees like that. And then you're going to say, well, but where's the time for the family? And Ayurveda puts the family time in the spiritual period, because the idea is that you chant with the family. You read Bhagavad Gita or Ramayana or whatever with the family. You sing bhajans and kirtan with the family. You have prasadam with the family. So the idea is, that all comes in together like that. And there's your 24 hours. But what do we do in modern day society?
Oh,
it's
8 hours of
18
Facebook.
hours for the body, and like that, and 5 hours for the mind, and like nothing for the soul or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's either it's all for the mind. If you're working all the time, it's all for the mind. If you sleep too much, it's all for the body, or you eat too much, or what if you work for 18 hours a day? When are you going to sleep? You don't have much time to sleep, so then it's not going to be balanced. Then you're going to get disease and so many problems. So you don't want to have too much time for the body or too less. If you go too less also, that's really bad. No time to sleep or eat. You don't want to be too much for the mind or too less for the mind. If you don't work at all, then how are you going to maintain your spiritual things you want to do? You want to go to India, you want to go to the temples, but if you don't have any money, you can't go. Like that, and so many things. If you can't pay the mortgage, then you're going to be living under a tree in the middle of winter and summer. And it's not going to be so good. So everything has to be balanced. If you don't have any spiritual component in your life, you're just like an animal. You're just no better than an animal. And if you try to chant for 24 hours a day, good luck. Maybe it'll last 2 days, without eating and sleeping, and then you're gone. Then you're nowhere. So everything has to be balanced, not too much, not too less, like that. So yeah, we've run out of time, unfortunately.
See you next week.
Yes.
It's so nice to be part of it again. I've missed it.
Yeah, I missed it too. Great to get together with you, Bob.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Do you still get